What's up, gurus? It's your boy Pablo, and it is Sunday, which means that it is time for the Sunday read. Today, we are going to be reading a passage from the Spake, Zarathustra, which is one of the most iconic works of Friedrich Nietzsche, the great German philosopher, and frankly, one of my favorite philosophers of all time, up there with Plato and of course Socrates. But I really have so many great things to say about the Spake Zarathustra. Personally, my relationship with Nietzsche is a little complex. I believe that you have to read Nietzsche with a grain of salt, but for the most part, it is very empowering, and I believe that it can inspire us to great heights. But you must be, in my opinion, beware to not fall into despair or to lean too much into what I would say could be negative things that could emerge from reading some of Nietzsche. But if you embrace Nietzsche with a positive outlook, I believe that it is a recipe to be your best self. And I would love to unpack that more at some point. I'm happy to in the comment section, but really, this is the Sunday read. So I would like to read for you one of my favorite lines from the Spake Zarathustra, tell you what I believe that it means, and of course, we can continue this conversation in the comment section. But without further ado, I shall read this great line. Nietzsche says, "Creating, that is the great salvation from suffering and life's alleviation. But for the Creator to appear, suffering itself is needed and much transformation." Again, I will read. "Creating, that is the great salvation from suffering and life's alleviation. But for the Creator to appear, suffering itself is needed and much transformation." And so I want to let that sink in, and I want to give you some time to think, what does that mean for yourself? What do you think as these words hit you? What are your feelings? And as you think about it, I guess I'll share a little bit of what I believe that means to me, those lines, those words. For me, I think Nietzsche is saying that without the ability to create, that in many ways life would be meaningless. Again, he's saying creating, that is the great salvation from suffering. And so if we think of existence as a kind of suffering, what can give life meaning is the ability to create, that ability, the fact that you can create something, that no matter what you're going through, that you can create something, that is a very powerful and in some ways redeeming and redemptive aspect. And he goes on, he says that this is life's alleviation. So again, if there's something that is burdensome, potentially burdensome about life, that it can be alleviated through creating, which is why I feel like we're so drawn to the arts, where people are making movies or making music or painting, whatever it is, that there's some kind of alchemy where whatever we're going through, it can birth something that we can admire or that gives us some reaction, and that's some kind of alchemy, an important one. And further still, he says, for the Creator to appear, suffering itself is needed and much transformation. And that can be interpreted in many ways, but for me, I believe like on a practical level, in order to create great art, you need to basically dedicate and be patient, and that's not easy. And so one could think about hours and hours of practice and being tired and practicing and being persistent even when you might feel like not doing that. That could be a kind of suffering, but if you keep at it and you're able to follow through, that you can create. And so that kind of resonates with me because, as somebody who's a creative, I know that it's not always easy. It'd be a lie to say that. But when you just go through the process and you create, it is a joy. There is an amazing feeling that comes with the process. So I really just feel so inspired whenever I read Nietzsche. Again, you have to, I think, read Nietzsche with a positive outlook on life and really be mature in that way. For that reason, I believe that Nietzsche is important to read with maturity. So if you're like a teenager and you're angsty and you've got those hormones raging, maybe Nietzsche's not the best for you to read. Maybe just start with some Plato, just to have some ethics, some Aristotle, Nicomachean ethics, something to guide you to productive actions. Hey, be good at something. But with Nietzsche, there's a lot that I think can take you to the next level. In particular, one of the themes of the Spake, Zarathustra is the idea of the Superman that you can become. And while I don't agree with everything about Nietzsche in terms of what it takes to get there, I still think it's an inspiring thing that one can read and in some ways have it help them in life. But other than that, there's so many fascinating lines in this one. It really is a must read if you are in any way, shape, or form philosophically inclined. But that's going to do it for us here at the Sunday Read. Remember, every Sunday we pick a great work and we read it together and have a little chit chat about what it might mean for us. So let me know, what did you think about this reading? And if you have a book that you would recommend for us to have a look at, let us know in the comment section, or better yet, start a book list over at Ask a Guru on the app or at askaguru.com. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe here at Ask a Guru TV. We have amazing videos coming every single day. Tomorrow is Cinco de Mayo, and we have got a wonderful video for you then. So we'll see you tomorrow. Peace, Gurus.